Peace to the family. On behalf of HOTC, this is Keon Reed, aka Knowledge for Ignorance, along with my daughter Cami, and this is our first episode of Bridging the Gap TV. This show will be dedicated to parents and children, or just children and adults in general, so they can come and talk, and everybody can get each other's views and perspectives. Like I've been telling my HOTC family, I've been wanting to do something like this because growing up, a kid really wasn't able to have say so in the family or whatnot. They wasn't able to have their input. So one of the things that I've always felt was hypocritical growing up was the saying, a child should be heard, not seen. So here with Bridging the Gap TV, we want to change that narrative and that paradigm and give, the children and teenagers a voice and a place to speak their mind and bring new views and innovation to the table. That's what this will be about. So we just appreciate everybody who will be jumping in the live stream or who will see the upload of this, in the near future. And like I said, on behalf of HOTC and Me Knowledge for Ignorance and my daughter Camille, we're going to start with our first episode of Bridging the Gap TV. And Cami, do you want to say anything?
Hello, I'm Cami, and I'm 12 years old. I'm in 7th grade, and this is our first episode of Bridging the Gap TV.
And that's about all you want to say?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, with that being said, we're going to go ahead, and get going with some of the topics we had written down. I have maybe 3 or 4 as well as Cami. So I'm going to go ahead and lead off with the first one. And the first one will be dealing with the school security and checkpoints at the public schools, as far as the metal detectors and whatnot. And I know at all the schools around the country, of North America, that's not a nationwide standard. From my knowledge and the research I've done, it's mainly and predominantly in the inner cities, in the inner cities, lower income neighborhoods, and the perception of that a lot of times is bad. It's a misconception, and we just want to kind of speak on that. And what I want to say is this is Cammie's first year actually going to the inner city public schools. Prior to this year, she had always attended the gifted schools, but this year was her first year going to the public schools. And prior to that, she had never experienced metal detectors, or getting checked, by the security or whatnot. So I just wanted to start off with that to, maybe see what her perspective is and her opinion, prior to her experiencing that, going to different schools that didn't have the metal detectors, and the security checkpoints, versus her going to a school that has that now, and how she feels, one way or the other. But before I let her chime in on that, I would just like to give my perspective. I don't want to seem like I'm coming off too old, but I guess I would be considered old if I'm her father. But anyway, I graduated high school in 1994. And my junior year of high school, I moved with my father. My father stays in Los Angeles, California. And at the time, he was staying in Long Beach. So I went to this high school called Long Beach Poly. And the first week or so, it was kind of a culture shock for me, because back here in Michigan, where I'm from, we didn't have metal detectors and things of that nature. Now, keep in mind, I'm saying back in 1993, they already had that in place. And after starting going to school there, I kind of understood why, because of the gang culture and the different gangs or whatnot. But it just took me maybe about a week to get adjusted to, us getting frisked and all that. And I know, like, the funny thing about it, I ended up returning to my home in Michigan my senior year. And my senior year, they implemented it in Michigan. So it was just one of them things that started, in a bigger city that, had more population and more, different things going on of that nature. But that's about it. I want to give on that. The only thing I would say before I pass it to my daughter is, I just feel it should be used across the board, not just in certain areas and targeted certain areas to where these people are ostracized and put in a bad light, and the perception is pretty bad. With it only being put in certain neighborhoods and inner cities. And on that note, I'll fall back and pass it to my daughter Cami and see what's her take on the school she was going to prior that didn't have it versus the new school she's going to. Take it over, Cami.
Okay, so my mom used to tell me about how there were metal detectors at other schools, and it was just kind of weird to me that it wasn't at the current school that I was at, just because it was a gifted school, because I think it should be at all schools just in general. Because on the first day that I started at my public school, I walked in and I just walked through the metal detector, and then they had to stop me because I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to set down my backpack on this thing for it to get checked, and then I had to walk through it. And it was just kind of weird to me that we had to do that, and that it just like wasn't at any other schools that I've been to. And yeah, I feel like it should be at more schools, like around. I just feel like it should be everywhere, like no matter if it's a gifted school or just a public school, like a charter school or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it should just be anywhere. And there's another thing that people really like don't understand about like regular public schools. Are like, I don't know how to word it, because at my gifted school there would also be like a lot of bad stuff happening, because there was like fights also. There would be people getting suspended because I actually got in trouble. Like, yeah, there are the same issues kind of going on there, because I actually got in trouble because I was in a group chat, and it was like called like a gang, and so so they viewed me like as a bad kid because they thought I was in a gang. But like that same type of stuff happens at my gifted school and at the public school that I go to now. Like, nothing really changed, because there's been fights with like some people that I know at my old school, and there's fights going on now, and people should realize that they're not all that different. So, yeah, do you have anything else to say about it?
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying on that, and me being a parent, on the outside looking in versus in the past being a student as you are today. I kind of I've kind of known that, like, but like I said, me and your mom want to have, what I'm saying, the best for you. So you was going to the different schools, but at the same time, it's all about the effort you put out and what you do. So, like I always told you, I always went to the inner city schools and I turned out fine. And like I was saying, your mom, didn't know, she's not from this area, so her lack of knowledge, had her up in arms. But like I always told you, you like me. You well rounded, a humanitarian, you can interact with anybody, you know. That's probably about it for that first topic. But what I would like to wrap it up with on that first topic is to let everybody know I am in an interracial relationship. My girl is white, so what I'm saying, my daughter is mixed. So this year is her first time predominantly going to pretty much predominantly all black school. Even though it is some white kids and Hispanic, it's probably 85% black. But we've always lived, in what I'm saying, in the black neighborhood or whatever. So I just want to shed light on that. And also, I apologize from last week when I did the live stream, speaking on the family, because I didn't want to leave out the oldest, which is my stepdaughter, Jade. So I have 3 children. My stepdaughter, Jade, she's 23. My son, KJ, he's 19 going on 20. He's in his second year in college down in Georgia. And my daughter, Cami, is 7th grade, the baby of the family. Yep, so that's all I want to say. And then we'll move on to the next topic, which would be her topic she want to lead off with. So go ahead.
Okay, so my next topic is about school dress codes. And one thing that I noticed is that they're much different from the gifted school and at the public school that I'm at now. Because at my gifted school that I went to before for all those years, the dress codes were really strict. Like, you couldn't wear flip flops, you couldn't wear like short shorts. I mean, like, that's normal because like that's just like things that most schools have, but like you couldn't wear like tank tops or like certain shirts with like writing on it, and like they'd almost like look for something to dress code you about, because like a lot of my friends would come to me and be like, oh, I got dress coded, or like they got sent home because they're wearing this specific thing that wasn't even like bad, or like something that should have been just like left alone and just been like a lesson learned. Like, they didn't have to be sent home for it. Because at my new school, the only things that you can't really wear are like flip flops. You can wear sandals because they have backs on them, and you just can't wear short shorts. Like you have to have the it's like the fingertip rule, where you have to like have shorts that go to your fingertips. I think it's like something like that. And I just think that it shouldn't be like that strict at other schools. Like, it's just kind of dumb that they almost look for something to dress code you for, and I think that it should be different. So, what do you think about it, Dad?
I kind of agree with some of your points. Another thing that I would say about them somewhat being strict on the dress codes is that takes away from the kids, individual,
Creativity.
their creativity and their originality. Now, I understand, like, if it's something derogatory, like slandering, statements or gang affiliated, but other than that, a kid should be able to, dress as they please, as long as it's appropriate. Like I agree with the length of the shorts, and the different style shirts. So like, as far as the female students, they don't be showing no cleavage, and as far as the male students too. So I agree with some of those things, but one of the things that I don't agree with is a story that I seen maybe 3 weeks back from Louisiana. A young lady, and if I'm not mistaken, she probably was in your grade or 8th grade.
Yeah.
She got sent home for her hairstyle. Her
She
hair
had
was
it.
neat. Her hair was neat. She had braids, but the school prohibited different hairstyles, and I guess what they quote unquote call extensions, not just your own hair. So they sent the child home, and that was embarrassing for her, as well as embarrassing for her parents. And I just don't agree with that. It's like I said, as long as it's not nothing, being derogatory, or nothing like, nothing like that repulsive. Like, I think the kids should be able to dress and wear their hair how they want to. How you feel about that?
Because I've seen things where people get like sent home for like having colored hair or like weave in their hair, and I just don't think that it's right, because people also pay money to get their hair done like that, and they can't
Right.
come back until they like get it fixed again to make
Right,
it like
right.
natural again. And like, some people don't like their natural hair, and so they want to like change it up a bit, and like they like how they look with it, and it's just kind of making them feel more insecure going to school when they can't like look how they want to.
How they want it. Yep,
Yeah.
I agree. I
And-
totally agree.
The other day there was this girl at school. She was wearing an XXX Tentacion sweatshirt, and one of the teachers was like, well, can you wear that? And then she was like, yes, but like, I have a sweatshirt, like another sweatshirt in my bag just in case, because I don't want to be like sent home or something. But I feel like at my old school they would have got like just sent home for that, like, because they're like, oh, his lyrics are bad, like you can't do that.
Right.
Like, they just would have been like disgusted by it, I feel
Right.
like. Yeah.
And see that's the reason, that point you just made is the reason why I wanted us to start this channel, for adults and children, because some things might be a little misleading, with certain things. But as far as that fellow student of yours having an extra sweatshirt, that shows that she wasn't trying to be defiant. That showed that she wasn't rebelling. Her
Yeah.
thing is like, okay, I know that this is appropriate. It's not none derogatory or nothing like that. But
just
if you,
case.
if you choose to say that this is a garment of clothing that shouldn't be worn, I do have a backup. So I'm not rebelling against pretty much the dress code that you guys have, setting forth. So I agree with a lot of that. But another thing, I guess, before we round that topic up is, some schools overall have a true dress code to where they have to wear the same
Oh,
color slacks.
uniform.
Yeah, slacks and
Oh,
polos. So, and I've never had to go through that, in my days of school. So, how do you feel about that? Because you've never really had to even go to those lengths. So, put that into consideration. So, what you think?
Yeah, I see like some schools that have like uniforms, and I just like I don't like the idea of having to wear uniforms because actually I did have to wear uniforms for a short amount of time, like when I was in kindergarten. Like I went to this one
Wow.
school. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I remember that now. You
yeah, I
taking me
wore
back.
them there. Yeah, and like I just didn't like it because me and my mom, we would be kind of stressed because like sometimes I didn't have an amount of like the same pair of clothes, so that we'd have to
Right.
like wash it and stuff, and like it just be kind of stressful, like, and I just kind of wanted to wear like cute stuff that I got that I couldn't, like I had to wear out in like public, and so like none of my friends would see and so like I'd
Right.
be kind of sad that I wasn't able to wear
Right,
stuff that
right,
I
right.
wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you on that because that was one of the things. Like I said, I never had to go through that. But growing up, I did have some friends that went to like private school, and that used to eat away at them because they would have new clothes and stuff. But it's like, man, I can only wear it pretty much on the weekend, and
Yeah. It's
a
just
lot.
like it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, you pretty
And
much
like,
wearing new stuff around
yeah,
the
like I
house,
don't
like
even understand like why you need uniforms other than just like showing that's your school. Like I get like having uniforms on for I'm in a choir like at my school, and
right,
like we have to wear uniforms for our uh for the performances. Like I get
right.
stuff like that to show that you go
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
like shirts
unity.
with the, yeah, just
Yeah.
like for your school and stuff, or for like fun days. You like, because last year there's this thing called Unity Day where we had to wear like shirts made by the school, like with our different like kind of concentrations, like kind of
Okay.
divided. Yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's
Just
basically
well,
all.
what I can say just around that topic up on the dress code is at the schools that has the overall mandatory dress code, that's more just to keep you in line and not to give you no originality or your own self
Yeah.
identity. So yeah, we can wrap that one up. But actually, before I move on to my next one, to kind of bring it full circle with the security, with the metal detectors and the dress code. I guess I would want to round that off with just saying that all wherever you go, just to make the best out of it, and whatever you putting out into the atmosphere, you will receive back.
Yeah.
So some places are considered to be bad, but what I'm saying, it's bad seeds everywhere. It's just not a one-sided thing. This
Yeah.
type of stuff is happening all around. And I guess to round up that topic, or those couple topics, is I just want to get Cammie's perspective on how does she feel about the old school she went to versus the new school, her experience, and does she feel safe, or do she feel threatened, and all that? Then we can move on to something else.
Okay, so at my old school, I never really like felt threatened or anything. Like I felt safe. I mean, the only time I really ever felt like unsafe is whenever like my mom would tell me sometimes that like the doors would be unlocked, so like maybe intruders could like get inside the school. But like other than that, I kind of knew everybody there, and like I knew that they weren't gonna like do anything because like we're close. But at my new school, I don't even feel that much different because for the first few days, I was kind of scared that like people would be like that, because I was kind of intimidated by some people, and like I didn't really want to show that, but like it's just in general, like at a new school, like you just be
Yeah, that's
intimidated.
just a natural,
Yeah, it's just a
instinct.
natural thing.
Yeah.
And now I see that like some people are like they're like the same as me. So
Right.
yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so did you have a second topic you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's also dealing with school.
Okay, go
So-
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Lead off with it.
So my second topic is about the school lunches. So in like since like first grade, like I'd be coming home like every day, like eating snacks and stuff, or like trying to get like a whole meal because like I was just like hungry, and like the school didn't really feed us much, like at my elementary school, and the food just, it didn't taste that good. But when I got to my middle school last year, the school was, I mean, not the school, but the food, it was better, but it just still wasn't all that much. And like I think it's just kind of like that everywhere you go. And I feel like the superintendent maybe should like do something about it or something, because my friend's dad was actually the superintendent for a while, and like he didn't nothing about it. And I'm sure like his son like came home and said something about it, because he would always eat the food there, and he'd even say stuff to like me saying that it's not that
Right, it's
good.
not
Like
that good.
like he should like do something about it and like give us actual food, because at some schools they won't even allow you to like take your own food in. So that's probably
Right,
yeah,
right.
like at most places that you go they won't like allow you to take your
Right.
own food in. So I feel like they should at least try to change up like what you eat there, other than just like the gross kind of like, not necessarily, it's not necessarily bad tasting, but it's just doesn't have that much flavor and
All right,
stuff.
and
It's
the,
just
and the
kind
quality of it
of,
isn't
yeah,
as
the
good.
quality isn't
Yeah.
that good. So what do you think?
Just to your friend's father's credit, his hands probably are tied. Like he probably doesn't have the say so to be able to, have the authority to get different, more
Yeah,
quality meals
yeah.
in. So probably as much as you as the student and your friend don't really care for a lot of the meals, his father probably knows that, but like I say, he probably don't have the jurisdiction to,
Yeah.
get that changed. But now from my perspective growing up, because I've always been greedy, but
Yeah.
I've always liked a lot of the lunch meals. And over the years, well, of course, in grade school, I couldn't leave, but I like most of them. But it would be days when it was pretty gross to where we would have the whole month worth of the meals for the day. So
Yeah.
back then, when I was in grade school, we was able to take a box lunch or cold lunch. So for those days, I would probably take in a peanut butter and jelly, or
Yeah.
a
That's what
bologna
I
sandwich or something like that.
Yeah, that's
But
kind of what I used to do when I was younger. But
right.
like at my like last school, like in middle school, I haven't really done it at all. So
Okay.
yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, and then I was gonna say in junior high, we had open lunch to where you could leave. My first year, I used to go to the the nearby stores and to Little Caesar to get some slices of pizza. Then they closed. Then it was closed campus, 8th and 9th grade year. My 10th grade year in high school, it was open campus. I used to leave. Then, like I said earlier, my junior year, I stayed with my father. It was closed campus. Yeah, it was closed campus, but we had the pick of the litter in there. We had like 5 or 6 different restaurants, like real restaurants. We had Taco Bell, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, El Pollo Loco, which is a Mexican restaurant just on the West Coast, and I want to say maybe it was KFC. So I didn't care about it being closed campus because we had anything we wanted. Yep. But that's about it I got on that. You have anything else on that?
Yeah, I actually do, about the like what you said about like being able to leave and get your own food, because at my old school you could do that still. Like you just had to get like a parent to sign you out and stuff is what you had to do.
Okay.
You couldn't just like leave.
Right.
But at my new school you can't really do that. But I know at like most high schools, because I'd go out sometimes during like the high school lunch at my old school, because it was a middle and high school, not my new school. But like I'd go out and I'd see like people leaving to like get in their cars or anything, or like my sister would tell me that she'd be able to like leave and go like down the street to get some food like at her high school. Yeah.
Yep,
So yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. So do you want to talk about your next topic, or
Yeah. I can do that.
Okay.
All right. Yep. So cool. So my third topic would be dealing with teenagers and peer pressure and the effects of it. So I do want to get your take on it and where
Yeah.
you at with it,
Yeah.
and different situations you've been through. But first, I just want to say that's a thing that boys and girls go through growing up, as well as you will soon find out as you get older into your adulthood. You still will be faced with different peer pressures. But
Yeah.
like me and your mom have always told you, you can come to us with anything, and we want you to do what you want to do. Not nothing that's breaking the law or anything like that. But as far as peer pressure, we've always taught you to do what's right. In your heart what's right. You have a certain intuition, a gut feeling. So you know right from wrong. You know, I mean, as simple as that. So as far as the peer pressure thing going, like I said, I want to get your take on it, but I just want to give my take on it. Say, growing up, I've always, did me, and thank the creator, that my parents instilled in me that,
Yeah.
like do you, always do you, you know what I mean? Peace, knowledge, uprising. What's good, bro? Yeah, always do you. You know right from wrong. So always growing up, I I was always a part of the in crowd because, like I said, I get along with everybody. Plus I play sports, but I wasn't in the in crowd, due to pressure or trying to live up to some type of standard. I always did me. You know what I mean? So growing up, like the typical kid, I played video games, during my era, I did a lot of time outside. But say as I got older, say to about the grade you are now is when the peer pressure really start to kick in because you transitioning as a little boy into a teenage boy, as a girl into a teenage female, so certain friends was finding their self and was trying to be something they wasn't, and me, I always stayed true to me. So some of them that played sports along with me and was in the music, they start venturing off, starting off doing a little bit of breaking and enterings, stealing from people, stealing out of stores, trying to get involved with gangs, stuff like that. And me, I always stayed astray of those things,
Yeah.
like even some of my friends that did play sports, they was in, both worlds, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But me, I always stayed true to me because I seen the vision and seen what the negative lifestyle could get you. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I grew up in the inner city, around everything, family and friends. But I always was able to stay astray from it because I always knew right from wrong and knew what the consequences was. So, like I said, I had family and friends that did this and that coming up, but I always choose, to try to do right. And that's not saying that I didn't do my share of mischief. I'm just saying just big scale things that, what I'm saying, can get you in juvenile and get you some time in the local jail, which would lead to prison. So I always had my own mind, never let nobody dictate and tell me to do this, or if I didn't do this, what I'm saying, they tease me, what I'm saying, to where the next time I'm gonna be all in. Nope, nope. Keon always did Keon. What I'm saying? Anybody that know me would tell you that. So yeah, that was the next topic I wanted to bring up as far as peer pressure. And like I said, me and my girl have spoken with Cammy, on different occasions about it, as we will continue to as she grow. And at this point, I'd just like to get her perspective and her take on what we've talked to her about it thus far and how she
Yeah.
feels about it and her experiences at her new school versus the new one she go to. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is kind of an example of like how like gifted and public schools aren't all that different because at my old school there was a little store inside of it where you could like buy food and stuff, like bring your own money, like get
Right,
food,
right.
get like snacks and stuff. And like there was a few kids like that were actually kind of friends of mine that like were suspended or like got detentions for stealing from there. And because there was cameras all over it, so you could see whenever they got caught. And I would never like do anything like that because like I know the consequences I go through. And there was actually this trail behind the school where like some like teachers would like take their kids for like sciencey stuff or stuff like that, you know what I
Okay,
mean?
okay.
Like it was called I forgot what it was called, but there was like a hill and like a trail. And like this one time like a few of my friends asked me to go, like because we were waiting for the bus because the bus would take a while to come. And like they'd asked me to go with them. And like this one time I was like okay. So like I went with them. I started walking across the street and like I just got really scared because there was a whole bunch of like cars coming around to like pick up their kids and stuff. And I was like looking around getting all scared. And I was
Right,
like,
right,
well, the
right.
bus is probably gonna be here soon, so I'm gonna go back or whatever. So like I said that, and then they're like, oh, okay. And like a few of my friends have actually ended up getting caught there and like got detentions for ended up like going there. And like I never went there. I only like walked across the street. So I'm glad that I stuck. That happened at my new school. So I was in gym class and we were like walking around and doing laps, right?
Okay.
And so this girl, like I think she was in 8th grade. She came up to me. She was like, "Do you want a cookie?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm all right." Cause like first of all, like I knew it was already kind of suspicious that she was like randomly offering me a cookie, and like I
Exactly.
didn't really know her, right? And then
Right,
she was
right.
like, "Well, it got like drugs in it. It's an edible," and that like made me even more think. I was like, "Well, no," because I already like talked to my parents about how there was like drugs and stuff. Because this one time, because we have a group chat, like a family group chat type of thing, and I sent them like these pictures of a new like drug that was found or something like at school.
Yeah, you sure did send it
Yeah.
to all to me and your mom.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I knew that like people would start like offering stuff like that because people like some kids were into stuff like that. So yeah, that's all I really have to like say about it.
Well, like I said, I'm glad you know you being up on your toes and being alert and aware. And like I said, even though, like you said, last year you started to go a couple times to that store, but then you like something ain't feeling right. Like we might end up getting caught, something might
Yeah.
go wrong. Like one of us can get hit crossing the street or something, and
Right.
you'll be feeling bad. The rest of your friends. So I'm glad you used your mind and you turned around and went back to school. Me and your mom appreciate that.
Yeah.
We appreciate that, a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, like going forward, like as far as peer pressure, like I said, it's only going to start to get tougher
Yes.
the older you get because, like I said, we don't sugarcoat with you. You am I right? Am I wrong? We don't
Yeah,
sugarcoat.
you're right.
So like there's going to be some kids doing some drinking and some drugs and stuff, but what I'm saying, to stay clear of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, let us know, if anybody is being very persistent, as far as at school, and then you can let, what I'm saying, the authority figures at school know it well. And that right there, you don't no way, shape, or form have nobody trick you into believing that you would rather you snitching if somebody, what I'm saying, trying to force, some drugs on you or some alcohol or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something of that nature. So just know, what I'm saying, like I said, you got your own mind, you go with your own gut feeling, you know what I'm saying, your own intuition and your heart, Yep.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's about all I can say on the, the peer pressure aspect. Like I said, it's going to continue to get deeper and deeper, like I said, as the older you get, so just know to always be alert and weigh the pros and cons out on different things that people trying to approach you about.
Yeah.
So you have anything else on the peer pressure topic or no?
No, not really.
All
I
right.
don't.
Okay, so we can move to your next one.
Okay, so my next topic is about like a really popular game people are playing like on a lot of different like consoles and like
Okay.
Xbox, like PS3,
Right.
like stuff like that. It's called Fortnite. I'm sure you've heard of it before. And I'm into like playing it a lot. Like it's a really fun game like to play with your friends and stuff.
Right,
But
right.
the other day I was watching this video by like a girl that I like to like watch on YouTube a lot, and she was bringing up like how kids have been taking lessons to get better at Fortnite, right? Like their parents have been paying like real life money to just like a person that's good at the game that's probably been playing for a while to teach their kids how to be better at Fortnite. And like of course there's like multiple
Wow.
there's multiple things wrong with that, cuz like I even looked it up myself just to make sure like it wasn't fake, and there's like multiple articles on it and stuff. And what I think, like, one of the things is like, first of all, you don't know who you're trusting your kid with, like just like just to play like a
Exactly.
video game, like that's just something that isn't right. And
That's
another
crazy.
thing,
You at your age know that, let alone these kids' parents or these
Right.
children's parents. That's wild.
right, like, and I think the main reason why they're even doing that is because they're trying to get money from their kids. They're using their kids. What they're doing is having them like create like YouTube videos or like go live on YouTube or Twitch or something like that, and like play Fortnite and like get good at it and like get money from it, because you can get like paid from like getting views and stuff, and they're
Right,
probably
right.
like use their money. So like it's basically like using them or like putting them in danger, like putting them with a random person.
In harm's way.
Yeah, it's just, and there's like I get like there's also videos up
Peace, Red Squid. What's good, bro?
yeah, and there's like there's videos up of like how to get better at Fortnite, like just some like tips and like tricks or whatever. Like I get that, but like putting your like kid with like a real life person that like you don't really know that well that's good at the game, like it's just
Exactly.
kinda,
That's
it's
leading.
kind of weird. So
Yeah.
do you have anything to say
Yeah,
about that? Yeah.
yeah, I do. Like I said, I grew up playing, a lot of video games and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But like I said, I can vouch for her playing this Fortnite because before school started back, she was going in. But me, growing up, I played video games a lot, so I give
Yeah.
her space on it. But me and my girl, we do monitor, to check what she's doing, and she mostly plays, against the computer or online with her group of friends here where we
Yeah.
live at. So we kind of monitoring that. But yeah, that's kind of sad to hear that pretty much these parents are kind of, you know, leaving their kids out to dry with this. If they're using it for monetary gains, like, I mean, at the end of the day, the money should go to the kids anyway, because
Yeah.
they putting in all the man hours playing these games. But for you to just be, linking them to different people to help them get better, you not knowing from what walk of life these people are, like,
Yeah, it just kind
that's
of
not cool.
it
Go ahead.
just defeats the purpose of like playing the game in general, because like you play it just for fun, like to get
Yeah,
like
you
good
wanna
at
get
it.
better,
And like yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I play, just to be like to get better at it and like
Yeah,
play
yeah.
with my friends and
Me
stuff.
growing up, I was
Yeah.
never one to go get the cheat books because I feel better once I figure something out, because I
Yeah,
didn't put
figure
in
it
all
out
the,
yourself,
like
being proud of like you figuring
that's
it out.
I mean that's like going to watch a movie, but you went and got like the cliff notes, the footnotes before to
Yeah.
hear all the main
So it's, like,
parts, but you
spoiled.
still going to say it, like, yeah, that
Yeah.
defeats the
It's
purpose
just
of
like,
it. But
yeah.
overall, what I'm taking away from that story is that's dangerous to be linking your kids and networking
Yeah.
your kids with these different people from different walks of life, and you really don't know who's on the other end of
Yeah.
that server that,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, that they're, dealing with or whatever. So yeah, that was a pretty cool topic. Like I said, I'm gonna eventually have to get me a stick so I can start playing with you every once in a while,
Yeah.
because I normally I just play the sports games, but
Yeah.
I can get in on that and mess with you for a little while with that.
Yeah, I want to actually buy 2K19, like the NBA 2K19 game, because I played the demo.
Oh, okay.
of it,
Well, you
so-
definitely gonna get me
Yeah.
in to mess with you then. That's my that's my
Yeah,
first
yeah.
love, basketball. So
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. All right, so I know she has one more topic, but I have one more, and then we'll round it off with her last topic. I guess my last topic, for our first episode is just your perspective and your opinions, as a child, as a daughter, how you feel like me and your mother, or just parents in general, or adults in general, that you yourself and the rest of the youth will come across. How could we, get better at interacting with you guys? Because I know, as far as our family, me and you are very close.
Yeah.
You very close with your mom, and I'm very close with your brother. You are, with your sister. So we tighten it, we bond, we pretty much transparent. But at the same time, it still might be some things that you might still haven't came to us with. You might feel insecure or awkward. But so my last, topic for today is just wanting to know, what is something we can do better as parents, and as adults to, transcend with the youth, So we can start hearing you guys' views and your perspective, because like I said, going forward, we got to really quit using this as a cliche. The children are the future. If the children are the future, men and women, brothers and sisters, we got to start letting them have a platform and voice. So once again, that's why we created this Bridge the Gap.
Yeah.
So yeah, just let me hear your perspective on that. Then we can go into your last topic.
Okay. So like I think you guys are great parents. Like as you said, like I have a really good connection with both of you guys, and like
All right, hold on, not to cut you off now. Now, just don't sugarcoat. I mean, you
I
can still
know
talk
that,
about
so-
some of the,
yeah.
some things that you dislike too. So I don't want everybody. I mean, because we just talking off the top. This ain't scripted. So, talk about some negative things. Because, like I said, we need to get better. We all human. We all growing. So we learn every day. So go ahead, baby.
Okay. Yeah, so like I do have a good like connection like with them and stuff, but there's just like some things that like I don't like that they do, like some things, like sometimes they'll like fight over, well, like stupid things, like they'll like disagree with something and kind of like take it to me almost to like solve it in a way, because like my mom, she comes to me like about a lot of stuff that happens, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do, like you guys should fix it yourselves. Like I'll give something like to do and like fix it, but then
Right.
she'll just get even more mad if I tell her to do something like that, and
Okay.
then I'm like, oh well, I mean, you asked for my input, I'm sorry. But like,
Right.
and
Yep.
like there's just some things that you guys get like mad at. Yeah, like there's just some things that you guys get mad at me for, like that. I mean, I know I do some things wrong, but like there's just some things that are like, I'm like, oh, like that's stupid or something, or you like catch an attitude or something, or like get mad if I like say something, and that's why like sometimes like I won't tell you guys stuff. I mean, like I'll most likely end up telling you guys anyways, because
Right,
like
right.
I don't like to keep much from you guys, because like I
Right.
like to get your input on stuff. So like
Okay.
that's why, yeah, that's kind of like all I have to say about it. Kind of like it just.
Well, no,
But
I appreciate that. Go ahead. No, go
yeah,
ahead.
and like, well, sometimes, like I'm not trying to say this to like get you mad or anything, but like
No,
sometimes you'll
talk
get
talk
like,
freely. Talk
yeah,
freely.
sometimes you'll just kind of get like mad at me for something I did, or like say like I'll get like a bad grade on something, or you just be kind of mad and like kind of bring it up, like keep on bringing it up until like there's a point where I'm like, okay, like I get it, like I'm sorry, and like I just gotta kind of tell you like I get like what I did wrong and stuff.
Right.
And so yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about it now. Yeah.
And see, I appreciate you being straightforward and honest. And one thing that, what you saying, that I got to be more conscious of that. And I'm glad you saying that, because prior to you starting school last week, I want to give a shout out to one of my HOTC brothers, Flat Earth P, right? Because something stuck in my head. He said during one of our bills, the day before you started, at the regular public school. This is what he said. He said, and this is verbatim. He said, yeah, if you getting all A's, straight A's, and also never missing a day of school or nothing, you still a part of the system and being brainwashed, you know what I'm saying? Because you just, regurgitating what they telling you. You're not asking no input or asking a question. You just regurgitating. So like I said, that's why this is bridging the gap. I'm glad you hit me with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that, me as a parent, I got to get better at that. And like I said, going forward, I know that. What was I talking to your granny earlier when we was leaving your bowling league? That's what I was telling her. I was
Yeah.
like, I know overall a lot of this is fluff. You know what I'm saying? We don't even use a lot of this. So last year, with you being at that, you know what I'm saying, at that gifted school, I was saying that, but as the year went on, I started realizing, right, that I already know a lot of this is fluff, and they giving you
Yeah,
guys
it's basically,
too much work.
yeah, like at my gifted school, I just noticed that we're basically learning like most of the same things that I learned like at my last schools. Like we're just getting like
See?
way more work at my last school than I
Yeah,
am
yeah,
like
and
getting
you
here.
and y'all too young for that.
Yeah.
Y'all need to be kids. Like you need to learn some things, but
Yeah.
all that major papers and stuff, dude, like the first week of school and all that, what
Right.
wasn't cool. But like I said, I honestly appreciate what you just said, because that's going to keep me on my toes and keep me conscious of
Yeah.
not riding you as much. But like I said, going forward into this year, this summer, we already had that talk about
Yeah.
that. Like I said, I know a lot of stuff in the regular schools is fluff and is miseducation, and I want you to ask questions and challenge. But like I told you, once you get the feeling where the teachers feel like you pressing them too much and they want to single you out, pull back. You come home and ask me and your mother about it. And if we don't know about the question you have, you already know how I'm heavy into researching. So if I don't know, we going to get right on that so you can know the real thing, but then you can still go to school and play the game, you know what I'm saying? Just to go on and keep it even kill. But like I said, I appreciate you giving that honest, what I'm saying, perspective and opinion on,
Yeah.
how I would kind of ride you about the grades and stuff. And like I said, at the end of the day, the funny thing is you knew all the stuff. Like I said, it was just so much work. You was having homework like you was a college student, and that's the thing. You was just not finishing some assignments, but when y'all did like the three major testings,
I do
for the
really
year
good
you
on.
got in the 80s
They'd
and
be
90s,
like,
so they like, yeah, so
they'd
that
be
let
like,
us
how
know.
are you doing so good without
Exactly.
doing the homework? Because
Yeah,
they'd be
yeah.
like, oh, the homework is a practice, but you don't do it. So how do you do so good? I'm like, because I don't need to. It's not necessary to have all that much homework. Like I understand having some, but that's just sometimes it's just too much, and there's like a line. You just
Exactly.
need
Yeah,
to
exactly. And
stop.
like I said, yep.
And
So
yeah, because you guys like, I'll come home every day, and then you guys would be like, do you have any homework? And I'll be like, no. Then you guys would be like really surprised because I had homework my first day last year, and I was in 6th grade,
right,
and like you
right.
guys were
First
just
day of
like,
school, yeah.
right, and there was just like, I mean, I understand like having a whole bunch of like syllabi, is that like
Yeah,
the
syllabus, yeah. Yep.
syllabus, like coming from teachers, but like they actually gave me like homework, and you were just like, you already knew from that like that it was gonna be like a hard school year, so
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, I appreciate your honest, you know what I'm saying, the constructive criticism you just gave, Dad. You know, I really appreciate that. And going forward, I'm gonna make a mental note of that and make sure that I consciously remember that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my last topic, and we're gonna let Cammie round it up with her last topic.
Okay, so my last topic is about what happened. What was it, about 17? Yeah, because the other day was the anniversary. It's been like 17 years since it happened, about 9/11.
Oh, your
Like
last
the-
topic, 9/11. Oh, you
Yeah.
know that's right up my alley. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, go in.
All right, yeah. So it was about the 9/11 like twin tower like attacks, and at the I think the Pentagon, and the other day my math teacher was telling us about it, and he was showing us videos and like explaining what happened, and I already knew that it's kind of like, I think it was set up by the government, because like my parents have been talking about it since I was little, because like it was a thing that was already like kind of old by the time I was born, so like I already knew about it, and like knew like it was kind of like there was just a lot like sketchy about it, and like my teacher was just explaining like some stuff that happened, and I'd like raise my hand, and then he'd be like, oh, okay, like do you have a question about it? And I'd be like, yes. Then I'd like ask a question, then he's like, well, like this and this happened, and he just tried to sugarcoat it even more, and like I don't understand like what he meant by it, or like by my teacher last year was
So
like,
what did you ask this one though? What did you ask?
like I asked because he said something about how like I forgot what it was. It was talking about how like the first building I meant like the second building went down, like
First, yeah, it fell before the
like
first
it fell
one got
before
hit,
the
yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
And like one of my questions like was I know one of them was like, why weren't they trying to get like people out like as they were like because
Right.
the second building got hit like a half an hour later, I think.
Right,
But like
right,
I
right.
was asking about like how it did that, because like I heard that like the metal was like too strong or something, or like that it wasn't like
Yeah.
there's just a lot of stuff that didn't make sense, and like the video just kind of like, and he would skip past parts on the video and stuff, like and like it was like an hour-long video, like I get that, but
Right.
like he'd get to a part where like it's hitting, then he'd like skip into like
Past
another
key
part.
points is what you're saying, like,
a past
stuff that
parts
was
that
vital.
we really want to
Exactly,
see.
yeah.
And like I just didn't get why he did that. Like it didn't make any sense. And my ELA teacher last year, she actually like worked in like military field, like kind of like that, and she was like working at her desk when it happened, and she like looked up and it was like on the news, and she was just like explaining like what happened, and I was like, well, that doesn't make sense, it's just like some
Right.
stuff that like doesn't
See with your
make
own
sense.
intuition, like
Yeah.
it's not adding up, huh? Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing with my science teacher. Like she showed us something and it was showing like a round earth kind of thing.
Right.
And like my friend yelled like the earth is flat or something like that, and like she got like sent out the room, and like the teacher was like talking
She
to
got
her or
sent
something.
out?
Yeah, she got sent out the
What, for
room.
saying flat Earth?
Yeah.
Oh
she
yeah,
did.
y'all. Y'all know flat Earth topic gonna be coming too at one of the shows near you. That's just a sidebar. Go ahead.
Yeah. And like it actually happened again when we were taking a tour at this college. Like we're just like we were watching this video, and like she raised her hand and like asked a question about flat Earth, and like once again she was just kind of brushed off, like the
Okay,
question
yeah.
was just like it wasn't really answered, it was kind of sugar coated, and
Right.
it just kind of didn't make any sense. So yeah,
Okay.
do you have anything else to say about like 9/11 and
Well-
like flat Earth or anything like that?
Well, yeah. I ain't gonna go in on flat Earth. We'll use that on
Yeah.
another episode
That was
because
just
I can
a
talk about
example.
that forever. But
Yeah, you could,
Oh
yeah.
no, that was cool. But Now, as far as 9/11, I've been deep into that since it happened, and
Yeah.
I really want to give a shout out to one of my close friends from college, one of my basketball buddies, Ivan, because he was the one that first brought it to my attention of the deception, and it was a government inside job.
Yeah.
I never forget. Actually, you was probably about a year old, and he texted me and asked me had I ever heard of a documentary called Loose Change, and I was like, no. He was like, bro, I'm about to send it to you. He was like, you might as well be sitting down because it's gonna floor you. So he sent it to me. As soon as he sent it to me, I watched it 2 times in a row, like the first day. So I know a lot of y'all probably have seen that over the years that have heard of it, but that was the first time that I knew that it was a deception. So prior to my good friend Ivan hipping me to the Loose Change documentary, I was dumbed down and was brainwashed and was going with the bogus narrative of like what these 11 or 12 Arabic guys that supposedly had taken over this plane with box cutters. What you say?
It gave them like a bad, like anybody like that
Yeah.
of that race is just
Oh, yeah.
given like a bad.
Yeah, a bad
Like,
stigmatism.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. And what's crazy about it, like I said, all along, thinking back in hindsight, I kind of knew, kind of some was fishy, but I wasn't saying that. It was kind of some things that stood out. Like, first of all, actually, maybe a lot of you felt the same way. Probably y'all know for sure that it was fake, or maybe some of y'all still believe the mainstream media narrative. But the main 2 things that stood out, like this weird, was the box cutters taking over the plane. Like, I just, with your life on the line, you finna run into a building, you just not willing
Right.
to take a gash, like a slash or
Yeah.
whatever, for y'all to topple these people. And then the other thing, well, 2 more things. Like my daughter Cammy said, the second building that got hit fell first.
Yeah, and
That
so,
that
like,
stood out.
Yeah, it's just when I heard that, like, I mean, I think I've like heard about that part, but I just kind of like didn't really pay attention to it that much
Right.
because like it's just kind of weird how that like happened, how the first building like fell first, and I mean
Yeah.
not the second
The
building
second building,
fell
yeah,
first,
yeah.
yeah. And about the Loose Change documentary, there's like 2 YouTubers that I watch.
Okay.
There's one, his name is FaZe Banks. He's like a part of this, like, he's kind of part of like a clan kind of like on YouTube, and like he's like friends with like people that like made that or something like that. I don't.
Oh, the Loose Change documentary?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and
All right.
like he talks about it a lot. And there's this other YouTuber that I watch named Shane Dawson, and he does a lot of like videos talking about like conspiracy theories, like stuff like that happens, that happens that like doesn't make sense. And one of them that he did do was 9/11, and like he talks about some stuff that like the government most likely like wouldn't want you to talk about and stuff.
Okay.
And like yeah, he's kind of like he digs into like some serious stuff. And like when he talked about like 9/11, there was a lot of like fans like that were starting to believe that it was like fake and stuff. And
Right,
like
right.
yeah, and it was like I was kind of happy that like he made that video, tried to like talk about like how it was kind of set up, and they just took like thousands of like innocent people's lives like for
Right,
no
right,
reason. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then, like, I would say, one of the other things that stood out, before I knew like that it was an inside job, was both of the buildings fell. Like I said, the second one fell first, but all that rubbish and all that destruction, but they found 2 perfectly intact passports. These paper passports, but
Right.
all these steel beams of metal that melted.
That were
but-
supposed to be the strongest
Yeah, the
things. Like they're
strongest,
just
yeah.
the strongest.
Yeah, and like I said, for people who still believe the narrative of the 9/11, you can go Google or YouTube. It was a documentary. You can go YouTube or Google the documentary on the building of the Twin Towers. And if you go back and look at it, you're going to be pissed right away, because one of the main things they keep emphasizing is how strong the steel and structure is and what
Yes.
can break it. Also, it's a video out there showing around the world, not just here in the States, around the world, different high rises or skyscrapers that was burning for more than 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? And they still intact. They just scorched.
Right.
you know, the different levels and floors are burnt,
it's just,
but
like, it
they're
won't-
still standing. The foundation,
Right.
yeah.
Like I just like I didn't get that because like right after I watched the video by Shane Dawson, like I actually went like to like go search up those type of videos like about like them like testing it and stuff.
Right.
And like every video that I watched, like it wouldn't burn. Like it just like it didn't make any sense. And like
At all.
Yeah, and there's this like other part is kind of off topic but like kind of not, is that like they had like fake people like on the news like
yeah,
what are they called, like actors?
crisis actors?
Yeah, crisis
Oh, yeah,
actors. Yeah, they had
yeah.
them like doing that and
Yeah.
stuff, and like I don't get like why they need that if it was such like a tragic thing. There's so many people around to see the actual thing, and like that it was like computer edited, like
yeah,
that,
the the narrative. So that's
and
why,
like the way it like came out through the building, and it's just like didn't look
Exactly.
real.
Exactly.
And like that's like the parts that my teacher would like skip by.
They would
yeah,
skip
he would
that,
like
huh?
skip
Yeah,
them like
I
as
bet
soon
they
as it
would.
was about to hit it, or it just become really really low quality the part like
Right.
as it hits, and they'd zoom really far out, like something like stupid that like
No,
you know
I,
they
no, I
didn't
hear you.
really.
And that's like the movie Flight, Flight 92 or whatever it was, the one that was supposed to have crashed into the ground. I never even tried to watch it because it was all staged and made up. And then the plane that supposedly hit the Pentagon, it was more like a missile. I never forget when they came on the news saying that they was finna release the real footage, and they had these couple still shot pictures of this hole in it. They didn't show the pictures. I mean, no pictures or videos of the plane
A lot of
entering,
backlash for that,
which
huh?
it wasn't. It wasn't a plane. It was like a missile that hit the Pentagon. Also, for those that don't know, all the neighboring and surrounding restaurants, hotels, any businesses, all the federal agencies went and confiscated their video feeds because the video feeds would have
on
shown
now.
what actually hit the Pentagon, and which I know for a fact it wasn't a plane. So the 9/11 thing, it goes deep. And then, like I said, for those who still believe the narrative, just go back and just look at the footage just when they both was collapsing. If you look, you can see the plastic explosive flickering the lights on each level as they flickering as they're going down. Prior to a week or two prior to the 9/11 happening, these people was getting days off of work, just
Yeah.
random days that they
Yeah,
didn't
that
know
was
about.
really suspicious.
Now, how suspicious is that? Now, don't
Right.
you know if you working somewhere, you know how much you want to be at work. You gonna know the
Right.
days you got off. So these people was going to work and they'd be like, hey, yeah, you got the day off. Like
Right.
what? Like I would have made plans. So for like 2 or 3 weeks prior to 9/11, they was having these people take days off, and they was putting the plastic explosive throughout the buildings in both of the Twin Towers. And then I'll fall back after this note, and I'll let my daughter take back over. The only 3 buildings that was harmed that day, was the 2 Twin Towers and Building 7, which was like 3 or 4 streets over. Peace, Huey P. What it do, bro? So those are the only 3 buildings that fell. Now check out what I'm finna say, and I'll give it to my daughter. They saying that the Building 7 that was a few blocks over, you know what I'm saying, caught fire and burnt all the way up too, is because of the hot rocks and the hot different objects that was coming off of the 2 Twin Towers. Now, how much sense do that make when them blocks away, when everything that's next door to both Twin Towers on both sides, right, of the street, across the street, on the street behind it, ain't none of that get messed with, but
Right.
a few blocks over, Building 7. Building 7 had all the documents and stuff of the government stuff, so they had to get rid of all that, y'all. So like I said, I can keep going on and on and in about this 9/11. So I'm gonna give it back to my daughter and let her give more of her take on it.
And like I don't know, like this won't like make that much sense because I just kind of like thought about it, but my math teacher was talking about how there was another plane that was like that they said was going towards like DC or something like that, and I was like, well, of course it wouldn't hit like the White House and like kill the people who planned it.
Exactly.
Like,
See how you up on that already?
Yeah, like it doesn't like they
as a
wouldn't
child,
do that. Yeah.
As a child, you realize that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah.
That's basically like all I have to say about it. Yeah.
All right,
So-
cool. So like I said, this been the first installment. So how you feeling so far?
It was actually pretty good. Like
Pretty
at
cool,
first I
huh?
was, yeah, at
You was
first I was
kind of
kind of
nervous.
nervous.
I told
And
you it was gonna be all right. You know, we genuine. We kind of
yeah,
actually we kind of just talking how we do on the regular normal basis.
yeah,
Like I said, we just wanted to bring this to the public, to the world, so we can
yeah,
start turning up across this plane, right?
yeah,
So this Bridge the Gap TV is affiliated with HOTC, the House of True Consciousness, which I'm a part of. Keon Reed, aka Knowledge for Ignorance, the short K4I. So we just wrapping up the first installment of Bridging the Gap TV. Like I said, we finna be coming with more and more shows, more and more topics. I'm thinking like once a week, but I like I said, it's bridging the gap. So I had to get my daughter's take. Like how you feeling like once a week? Like I'm looking like today Saturday, or we'll maybe do a Saturday or a Sunday. So what you
yeah.
think?
It was actually pretty fun. Like,
It's funner than what you
yeah,
thought.
yeah,
Huh? See,
yeah. So like we
Trust
probably
me,
try to
y'all.
like do it during the weekends or like sometimes during
Yeah.
the week and stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
when I don't
Well,
have
well, like I
any-
said, I feel it'd probably be better Saturday or Sunday. Because
Yeah.
there won't be no school. I won't
Yeah.
be working. You know what I'm saying? We just got the
'cause,
days
we're
off.
tired after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying though to the people who's watching now and who will watch this re-upload.
Yeah.
This is for all of us. So that's why we labeling, we gonna label the episodes, you know what I'm saying, with numbers. So this is the first one. So it's on my YouTube, but
It'll probably
but
be
we gonna
re-uploaded.
we're gonna re-upload it. I know the bro Knowledge Uprising is gonna re-upload it to the HOTC Universal server, which that's where we want it to be wholeheartedly, because that's a part. This is just an extension of our HOTC Universal network. So what I'm saying is, everybody, all of my brothers and sisters in the HOTC network, like I did the live stream last week, I want y'all to be part of it. So we labeled this episode 1. So all we need to do is just direct message one another and let us know. Like, so say like the second one, you know what I'm saying, or if somebody want to do one today or tomorrow, all y'all got to do is just do the feed, go live, or do it, just record it and upload it, but put like episode 2 on it, so we'll know going forward. Because like I said, all this information is good and vital, but some episodes might resonate with people more than others. So if we label them, people will be able to pinpoint and go back like, yo, I'm kind of like episode 3 better than episode 1, or
Yeah.
I was more rocking with episode 5 versus episode 10. So what I'm saying is, all my brothers and sisters, I'm encouraging y'all. We want y'all to join what we doing. We want to hear the
Yeah.
perspective from my brothers and sisters as the parents and adults, as well as your children, because like I said, we need to be bridging this gap. We need to start changing things going forward. You know what I'm saying? So what we doing here today with the pilot episode is getting this ripple effect going. So I'm knowing that it's gonna take off. Like I said, we just happy to be doing it. Like I said, once we got going, I seen my daughter's energy and I knew she started feeling it. She was liking it.
Yeah.
She started getting relaxed, you know what I'm saying? So we just kicking it and building. So like I said, I want everybody to be a part of it. Listen, my HOTC brothers and sisters, if you don't have your own children, you still have younger children in your family, whether it's brother or sister or nieces and nephews. So we can get this done across the board. So like I said, so you gonna be good with going again next weekend? Okay.
Yeah.
So this what I'm saying. This is episode 1. So if some of the brothers and sisters finna do a segment prior to next Saturday or Sunday, you know what I'm saying, just make sure you label it, and then you know what I'm saying, then we'll label the next one accordingly. But listen, like I say, this ain't no rush. This just our way of life, right? So we not rushing nothing. So like I said, some of these would just be me and her, some of them would just be you guys, but at the end of the day, I want to shout out to Sean Hyman. To the whole HOTC family, but I want to pinpoint these brothers in particular because of their editing skills. Okay, Sean Hyman, my boy Crypto, and Lindsay, Knowledge Uprising. Y'all 3 brothers. If at some point in time this week, I can link up with y'all and maybe we can have a group discussion going forward, because you guys are very tech savvy, right? Going forward, I would like for it to have the backdrop, how we do the live stream for HOTC, how
Yeah.
Crypto's be having a live stream. So I would like for one of you three
we're gonna
one
get
of
it
you three
going.
brothers, because look, I already came up with the logo thing, the Bridge the Gap TV, but if you guys can some way incorporate that into one of the TV backdrops, like we do, like one of the backdrop lounges, what we do for our own HOTC live stream, bros, I really appreciate that. Me and my daughter would, because like I said, this is for all of us. Like I said, we just getting the ball rolling. So going forward, we want to have certain shows to where we live streaming, to where we can do the Google Hangout call, to where we got, you know what I'm saying, a whole panel of us. But going forward, as this start to pick up across this plane, I want us to have that nice proper backdrop, you know, the Bridge the Gap TV backdrop, you know what I'm saying, going forward.
High
So
knowledge uprising.
peace, bro. Peace, Lindsay. My daughter just said hi.
Hi.
Peace, bro. So yeah, going forward, like I said, we're gonna go on and wrap this up. Like I said, we ain't got no stricted time. So we just did an hour and 5 minutes. Like I said, we don't have no stricted time. But going forward, what we would do, the day prior to us going live, we'll just put up a quick promo. Like, you know, we'll be going live.
Yeah.
Like today we went at 2:15. Like we'll do a quick promo. Like we going live 2:00 p.m. You know, Saturday, or 2:00 Sunday. But other than that, once we get going, it ain't no time frame. We just gonna go off the feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, going forward, as it start to pick up, we gonna have more people in the live stream. So we're gonna be taking Q&A from adults as well as kids, as children, because we need to hear from the youth. That's what we're doing this for, so the youth can be more comfortable. So I'm gonna have my daughter promoting it at school. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this is uploaded. This first pilot is on My Knowledge for Ignorance YouTube channel, but I really want this to be on our main hub channel, which is Universal, HOTC Universal. So like I said, I'm gonna have to chop it up with Sean, Crypto, and for sure Lindsay, because he's the brother that started our neutral HOTC Universal Network hub channel. So I'm gonna have to chop it up with him so we can make sure this stuff is fed through there. And brother, with you being on here, I want you to go on and put your touches on it, like the intro and outro after we drop off this live stream for when you upload it to our server. I appreciate that. And like I said, going forward, this is not just for me and my daughter. Bridging the Gap TV is in part with HOTC Universal.
We're starting it,
go ahead,
giving
talk.
a good example. Like, yeah, we're just starting it. Like, I know it's been kind of long, but I mean, my dad watches live streams that'll be like longer than this, you know. Like,
Yeah, 6-7
we
hours.
we talked about a lot of good stuff in here though. So
Yeah, trust me.
I mean, yeah, you could go back and watch it. It was actually
y'all know she done made fun of me over here. She'll be looking like, you watching that for 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you know what I'm saying? Listen to a lot of, shout out to Bro Sanchez for repping the HOTC family and you know, showing us much love. Some of his live streams or some of his feeds be like 6, 7, 8 hours. You know?
you'll tell me about it.
But like I said,
how do you?
You don't have to watch it all at once. You can just break it down like you do TV shows. So you know what I'm saying? Wherever you can get that good knowledge from, you know what I'm saying? We all for, you know. And also, people go tune in to my HOTC brother Red Squid channel too. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of us out there with our channels that's booming. We have Cryptos United. We have the brother Huey P. We got, you know, Sir Drop. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna be forgetting some names, but I'm just shouting out off the top. We got Empress Lou Peace, sis. We got Quincella Peace. We got Nikki C, Asus. I've been seeing some of your feeds, so you need to start seeing if you can link up with the brother Knowledge Uprising, so he can start uploading them to the feed, and we can start making that your hair show. You see what I'm saying? Like we all bringing stuff to the table. So this Bridging the Gap is just one show. We finna have news coming. We finna have sports shows. We got comedians over here. Go ahead, mama.
Sorry. Yeah, because right now it's like, I mean, it's small, but I feel like at some point, like, it's all going to become, like, bigger. And, like, I just read what he had said in the chat, like, it's kind of off topic.
I didn't even see it.
He said, like, something about the Florence storm or something that it's raining right now. Is what
Oh
it said.
yeah.
Yeah, my
okay,
friend.
yeah. I need to reach out to your brother too, cause
Yeah,
Jordan,
yeah,
okay.
and like two of my friends are actually like caught up in it right now. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, because one of my friends actually just moved to North Carolina, like just moved like Sunday, and she
Okay,
just got
okay.
hit with it, and it's just and I have to call.
Yeah, well, make sure you
KJ,
check.
yeah.
You checking it. Yep. And
Yeah.
like I said, once we get off, we gotta check in on my son, which is her brother, cause I think they probably kind of close to that storm,
Yeah,
if not. So
yeah, because that's what Mom had said that they're kind of
Yeah.
close to. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and then like I said, going forward, like we're gonna have like more people be picking up in the chat rooms to where we can get Q&A, and maybe some shows, some of my daughter friends might want to be a part of it. So I'm gonna have her starting to get them into downloading the Google Hangout app, because like I said, we at the end of the day, we already have a voice as the adults and the parents. We just trying to give the youth a voice and have them bring some new innovative ideas to the table so we can move forward. And like I said, once again, this is your boy Knowledge for Ignorance of HOTC TV.
and I'm Cammy, and that was our that was our first live stream of Bridging the Gap.
Yeah, no doubt. And trust me, listen, going forward, it's gonna get even better. Like I said, we got a great sense of humor side. So all of the dialogue and topics won't be all serious. We gonna have some goofiness going on too, because we are human. We gonna be showing all the different aspects and emotions. So
Like
so
today
once
was
again,
today was just kind of a little
appreciate it, bro.
run. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like I say,
Thank you.
today is the test pilot. Like I said, we gonna turn up. Like I said, as I talk to the brothers and sisters more, and we get more of these great minds thinking together like we always do. We gonna turn it even more. But I'm just so proud of our first pilot show, because what we've been talking about and what we've been talking about in the back chat, we starting to bring to life. You know, we big on the HOTC family is big on doing stuff in real time. So that's what we doing. And like I said, we appreciate those who tuned in to the live stream, and thanks of y'all for tuning in. And much love to those who will watch this upload in the future. And on behalf of HOTC Universal, I'm Knowledge for Ignorance.
I'm Cammy.
And we signing out until next weekend from Bridge the Gap TV. Peace out.
Peace out. Bye.